What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Texas to Tennessee podcast. On this episode, we are backstage with Brent Cobb right after his sound check at Mempho Fest 2024. It was a busy day for Brent, so I really appreciate him taking the time and to come on the podcast. He was as cool as always, so appreciate him. Also appreciate the Rowdy brand for coming on as a sponsor of the podcast. Their link to their site will be down in the description. Go check out their merch, man. They got cool stuff going on. Just a small town business trying to do big things. So go check them out. Also, if you haven't liked, saved, subscribed, depending on where you're watching this thing, please do so. And if you know some other folks that like music like this and like independent stuff, please share it with them in any groups that you're involved with on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Just help the whole point of getting the podcast to grow is to help the artists grow, and that's what we're doing this for. All right, see you. Thank you. Brent, man, I do appreciate you taking the time. I know you got a busy day.
It is a little bit today, but no, man, I appreciate you caring. That's what we was talking about right when I saw you. I was like, oh yeah, I know you.
Yeah, no, I've been to I think every show you've had in Memphis at Minglewood and where was the other one? The Growlers.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the first thing me and my wife ever did after, like, our first outing, after our firstborn was born, our daughter, 2014, we came down here and went to that Memphis in May festival. It was fun, man. And we just we bought tickets and did the thing, and the Avett brothers were there that evening, and it was crazy though, I will say, because we would stand in a beer line, for like 45 minutes, and then you get to the end of it and they're out of beer, and then you got festivals are crazy, man. I'm gonna have to put a festival on so I can make it more user friendly.
More. It seems like there's a lot going on here.
This seems good. I ain't talking trash on
No, I got you. No, it does. This seems more laid back.
I just want
I don't think it's going to be way overcrowded, if that makes sense. Which is good for you, but not as fan friendly.
But see, that's what I was going to say is I want the concert goer experience to be easier. Like, another thing, and again, nothing against Memphis in May. It's festivals, all festivals, but and I get it. You got to kind of stagger performances, but you'd have to leave one show
to get to the
15 minutes early to get to the next one before whoever starts, and then beer line situation. I'm going to put a festival on someday, and we're going to make it concert goer friendly.
Well, as many friends and just from an outsider paying attention, as many friends as you have in the music world, I don't think that would be hard to put on. One
would think. That's funny though, because everybody tells us in private that like, man, I'm a big fan, but then I'm like, well, tell you million followers that.
Well, I don't have a million, but if anybody that's paid attention to my TikTok and everything else has seen all of your stuff, like I said, I told the story about taking my kids to see your show, and then after the show, my son, which is he knew a song or two, but he was even more of a fan, and it was your show, but it was also that you hung around and you shook hands and you took pictures with them.
Man, well, that's
but you know what I mean.
Oh, like dude, for sure.
He was blown away just as much by the picture and the niceness after the fact as he was the show.
So, see, to me, I grew up in a musical family, first of all, and so I watched my dad and his band and the way he conducted himself around folks. But then also, when I started cutting my teeth on a more professional level with Rowdy, Jason Copeland, the Steelwoods, he was a band guy, and and regular folks, man, blue collar musician, and but then add almost 20 years of just getting by. It makes you humble, and it makes you appreciate folks who show up, because for a long time people didn't show up, and so anybody who comes, I I always will make it a point to shake hands.
Well, it's I don't think you're necessarily doing it for this reason, but it's a good business model too.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
If I was doing anything with business model in my mind, I might have had success a little sooner. But no, I hear you.
But yeah, that makes people go to the merch table. I mean,
well, yeah, maybe they'll buy something.
Yeah,
if not,
I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. One of the things that I want to talk about that was the first. I'm pretty sure it was the first time I saw you at 1884 in Minglewood.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd was singing back your lyrics, and you really seemed like you were kind of taken back, because it seemed like this was early on when you were really starting to get things rolling.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I don't think you felt. It didn't feel like it was bullshit what you were saying.
No, I wonder if I kind of remember that night, and I feel like that was maybe right after, or it might have been. Was that the Anderson East tour, like 2017?
No, 2018? I can't remember who opened for you.
All right, so it was probably Savannah Conley, and it was our tour. Mm-hmm. But it was the first time that I came back.
Yeah, you were the headliner.
That was the first time I came back after we had done the Anderson East tour and that Nikki Lane tour, and so yeah, that was one of the first times that it was my headline tour in years, and that crowd was singing everything. It's still, if you get a group of folks singing them, it blows my mind, you know. Thank God.
Yeah, you did. I mean, like I said, that night you made a comment on the mic, you know, telling everybody, or you just seemed to be kind of blown away and stopped for a second, and then when I'm pretty sure I asked you after the show about that, and you was like, "Man, I've played to a lot of people not responding.
I played to a lot of no people and empty rooms."
I had that conversation with Hood too. Just as many empty rooms as it was.
Ain't no doubt. Well, and being my band still, even like, it's funny. We'll have a headline sold out show, you know, at a decent sized venue, and sometimes my crowd is a little different. Sometimes they're very much gonna party and sing every word. Sometimes though they're more reserved, and they're just taking in the show, and we won't get much of a reaction.
It's hard to tell.
And so yeah, we joke about it because we're like, you know, we're the most popular band that you don't like or something. And I don't remember how we say it, but it is funny because I think more than anything though, I think when people come to our show, I think like I was saying earlier, when you listen to my albums, for the most part, I think I'm known more as like quiet songwriter dude. Mm-hmm. But I got a lot of rock stuff, and so our show kind of rocks a little more than I think. I think people come to the show expecting one thing.
I could see that, especially your last album or two.
Yeah, this next one's gonna be the one though.
All right, so we'll come back to that. I want to make sure we talk about that. I want to talk also something else you got coming up that you seem pretty damn excited about. So I want to make sure you.
Right.
But when you made those last couple albums, and they were a little more laid back, even more than you know the ones in the past. Where you was that why did those albums end up coming out
laid
like that?
Back? I don't know.
Just what you had going on at the time.
Intentional necessarily. I always go in the studio and I go, what's best for the song first, and it don't always turn out the way I think it's going to turn out, but then it can evolve at the live show. So if you make sure the song is getting laid down right to where it can be deciphered, we can do whatever we want with a live show. We could make Shine on Rainy Day rock if we wanted to, you know. It's the way I try to approach it. So it wasn't intentional, but it was just the way that it went down.
Understood. I get playing for the song, and that's just how that came about. Also, I dig the gospel album you put out. I really like that because you got a lot of Muscle Shoals, Memphis groove thing going on that album. That it may be a gospel album, but it's banging too, though.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think a lot of folks might see the headline gospel album and they go, I don't really feel like going to sleep today, but that one's different. I'm proud of it, man. That's, you know, when I hit Dave up, my cousin Dave Cobb, about doing that, I said, when are we going to make the gospel album? And he's like, oh man, our family would be so proud. And, you know, we both are from Georgia and in Capricorn, Macon, right up the road, Allman Brothers, obviously Otis Redding. and James Brown, and they all come from gospel as well. Right. And so we go, well, how do we make this? Yeah, how do you make it fun, man? I'm a believer, you know, and as I was telling my daughter this the other night, is I believe it's all right to get excited about the Lord, you know, and have fun with it, and you don't have to be like rule follower. I can't imagine. You imagine going to heaven and everybody's just like, no way, that's the way, you know. We're
right.
talking about the creator of all things here. That makes me excited. So I wanted the music to feel that way.
It's got a lot of funky backbeats and everything. Because anybody that's watching this that hasn't gave that album a chance, I mean, whether you want to hear a gospel album or not, it's a well-made album as far
as. Just enjoy the
music.
music. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know it seemed like I'm sure you're proud of everything that you put out, but it seemed like that was one of those I'm going to do this no matter what sort of things, you know.
Yeah, and that was a special project with Dave too, because his grandmother was a Pentecostal preacher, and he had never done it, and you know, made any kind of gospel music, and it was just even Dave's mixing, and because he mixed a lot of that album himself. And you could just tell the amount of love, you know, that he put into it too. So,
yeah, it sounded like if Aretha would have had a gospel album back in the day, like that.
Huge influence, man, on that. Like there's that footage from the '60s, you know, of her going in the church, and it was a big influence on that album.
Yeah, so definitely y'all go make sure you check that one out. So I want to make sure we talk about it. I know we got a little more time, but you got a Ryman show coming up.
Yeah.
And you seem like I know you've played there before, opening for people and stuff like that, and you've been around the Nashville game for, you know, you don't live there, but you've been around it for a long time. How the hell is that?
Well, speaking of church, it's man, I have always hoped that I could put some people in that place, and so, you know, we've been touring a long time. I've been playing a long time. I tell a half joke. It's only taken me about 18 years to get to the bottom. I'm just glad to be here. But so a lot of people have seen my shows, especially the last few years. I don't venture too far from what I know the good set list is going to be, and so for this show, I want it to be as special as I think it is, and so I'm put together the big band. Like we're gonna have the studio band that played on Southern Star with my road band that we've been playing together. Some of us been playing together over a decade, and we're gonna have like 2 drummers, keys, utility player, 2 guitar players, and we're gonna try to throw down like the Allman Brothers a little bit, you know.
I can only imagine the guest list of buddies that are going to be.
Yeah, I already got.
I mean, that's probably going to be just as special as the venue of the people that will come and show love.
Yeah, I have some guests already that have confirmed that they're going to be there. Miranda, I sent her a message and was like, "Hey, by chance you're going to be in town December 5th? You know, be an honor to maybe have you come sing one." And I don't know what we would sing, but she was like, "I'm already gonna be there. What are you talking about? I already got she bought tickets." Shit. And but my wife kind of gives me a hard time. She just gives me a hard time because I typically, I don't know what's the matter with me, but I won't hit people up like I could or should. But I got a few folks that we'll have some surprises.
But I guess. Even more, I'm not surprised that you could get people on stage, but I'm thinking of like just your buddies,
just out there.
Your buddies that's going to show up to support you at the Ryman.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You know what I mean? I imagine that's got to be, like I said, just as cool as the show itself.
It's the thing that we all dreamed of, you know, because I had a whole crop of friends that I lived in Nashville from '08 to '18, and you know, you kind of come up together, you move there at the same time, you meet, start hanging out, going through the trenches together, and you create a bond. And you're going to go to Broadway and act a fool for the first few years,
right,
and go in that alley between Tootsie's and the Ryman and just dream of that moment, and mainly dream of, like, I think of Adam Fisher, Scotch Taylor, Jerry Gregg, all great songwriters. But my true friends went through those trenches, and we used to be like, it's mainly like, oh, I could get everybody backstage at the Ryman, it's the thing we dreamed of. Yeah.
You got several of them that aren't here with us anymore, but I imagine they're be happy as hell for that to be happening.
Rowdy Jason Cope.
And what was his? I was trying to think of the other fellow.
Wayne Mills.
Wayne Mills, yes sir.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to.
King Alabama.
Yes sir.
Yeah,
y'all led you and Hood and you guys led me to his music. Being here in West Tennessee, he didn't make it.
Right.
The vibe didn't make it this far for whatever reason. That's the way that goes. But I was late to the party on that one. But I enjoy also the Steelwoods covering his song too.
It's amazing, man.
That
one of these days I fly.
Man, that's a great song.
So good, man.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I was.
Rowdy produced that album too, the Wayne Mills album.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't want to. You've got a lot of podcasts. You do a lot of interviews with folks, so go check out other podcasts because they've got one hell of a story as far as.
It's insane.
Brent, I guess a couple people that I've talked to along the way just kind of pointed out that. Like, you don't know how tough it is out there. So when you meet people of like mind that share a couch, and all of that stuff, then the world starts getting real small.
Ain't no doubt.
So
and then you start losing them folks.
Like you said, I'm pretty sure it was Rowdy that said that one night, just talking about the because I was asking how y'all knew each other. You know what I mean? I mean, you're Georgia, and they're Alabama. But still. It's not like you grew up around each other.
No.
But you did, in a way.
You do wind up growing up. Yeah, that's what like Rowdy in particular, when I made it to L.A., he was, already friends with Shooter and Leroy Powell and them, and from North Carolina is. And he was so happy to see another Southern dude show up in L.A., that's really what it was. And we just bonded, man. And, it took me to school. Like, I'd stay on his couch.
Looking back at that, like how, from where you are, now in your life with your music and family, and when you got your own little family going on and all that, like, looking back at those days, like, I guess what stands out about that now? Are you surprised at anything, or what pops off in your mind? Like first thing when you.
Well, the first thing is I wish that I would have embraced that moment a little more than I did. I was just real reluctant to go out there.
But you were how old?
I was young. I was when I first started going out there. I was 18 and freshly 18.
So we don't take in anything at 18.
No, man, and I'm from rural South Georgia, you know what I mean? I'd never been out. I'd never flown on a plane before I went out there. That was the first place I ever flew to. And so for those couple years going back and forth, it was a lot to – I just wish I would have been like, man, I knew how profound of a little moment it was, and I knew that they were obviously making country music that was cool, and they cared about – I don't know how to explain it, but it was. I just wish
that was about the time Shooter did put the O back in country.
Yep,
yeah,
that had come out in 05, and so I started going out there at the end of 05, and then 06, 07, and I just wish I'd have cared more when I was going out there.
I didn't really. I guess just back then, I didn't really put together how kind of influential that album was at that point in time. I knew it was good, and I knew I connected with it, but I didn't really realize that there was another scene that really connected with it, because they're like, hell yeah, he's one of our guys. He's not country radio.
It was a big deal.
Whatever. I mean, I know he had a couple hits with it or whatever, but still he wasn't the norm.
To me, it started the ripple of our time.
I could see that.
That led, because I know that put the O back led to, obviously he and Dave did the next two albums, Electric Rodeo. When I got there, they were finishing recording Electric Rodeo, that second album. And then that album had a song on it called When your heroes turn out to be assholes, and the light in the tunnel you're chasing is a train. Jamie Johnson loved that song, and that's why he even ever got a hold of Shooter and Dave.
And then that's how he had found Rowdy.
Dave wound up coming out, or Dave invited him to come to the studio, and this is when I moved out there. And Jamie came out, and I was in Ocean Way Studio. Rowdy was playing on. They had just written the night before. They'd written High Cost of Living, and they were recording it at the studio. Well, then that album leads to Rowdy going on the road with Jamie for 6 years, and it also starts to lead to Dave moving from L.A. to Nashville. And when he gets to Nashville, of course, Dave a hating ass hater, and he wants to change everything.
You really should help Dave out. He's struggling these days.
Poor fellow.
Yeah, I know. He needs some help.
He called me the other day, and he called him back.
Well, I want to make sure. What else? You talked about an album. I want to I want to make sure we can talk about that, but there was something I wanted to ask you about. Because you work with Hood a bunch, and he seems to be like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except for it's Hood. He always comes up on the podcast somehow, some way. Yeah. But you guys, during Hood's album, you worked with the Blackberry Smoke guys, and you were around Brent and Charlie and all that. How did that connection ever come? I know you've been around them several times, but how did that connection?
Weird.
And how was Brent? I mean, he's one that's going to be missed for sure. He was a huge personality.
That dude was intimidating in the studio, but because they're a band, so they don't really work like
session
producers, session guys, and so it was just sort of a crazy occurrence because of COVID and all that was going on. Nobody could go anywhere. They weren't touring,
right?
And then Adam's manager at the time was friends with Blackberry's manager, and I had already been to Capricorn. I'd done a few things at Capricorn. Blackberry Smoke had already been to Capricorn, done a few things at Capricorn. Knew we wanted to record the record at Capricorn. They were available. Ben Ratliff, Adam's old manager, hit up. Their manager was like, hey, any chance, because we were looking for a studio band, and they were available, and so they came down.
It's a hell of a studio.
Dude, I mean, what the heck? And I'm producing, it's like the second thing I ever produced.
And you're like, they know as much as...
Oh, buddy, I sat Charlie down, I was like, man, before we went in there, I was going to let you know, I told Hood the only reason why I want to produce, I just wanted to help him pick songs, and he asked me to produce, and I told him if it turns out good, it's because I'm just a fan. But if it turns out bad, it's because I'm just a fan. I'm not a producer. So, Charlie, I'm going to need to lean on you a little bit probably every now and again. And he was totally cool, man. Britt was, again, he was intimidating because it's Britt. But he just was great to work with. And at the end of the whole deal, he was like, I just want to let you know I appreciate the way you did this and your direction and the way you work. And it's just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, thanks. It was amazing.
Man, yeah, it was just there wasn't a whole lot of people in those rooms at that time, so I wanted to ask you about that, and that had to be a pretty cool moment. A lot of respect going on.
Yes, sir.
Not like your music and their music sounds the same, but you got a lot of flavors.
We cut from a similar cloth for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. All right. What else do I need to hit on? We're
gonna go in the studio in December, I think. And record, or no, right before the Ryman, we're gonna record a new album.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the traveling band with me.
Still going to Capricorn?
Not on this one. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it somewhere different. I'll tell you more about it, but it's gonna be real cool though.
It's gonna be a different flavor from the.
I mean, kinda. It's
all still you. But
Southern music, you know.
Understood. All right, man. Well, I know you got stuff going on, so I appreciate the time.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. All right. So I forgot to ask you again. Brent Cobb, what is your favorite Little Debbie cake?
Damn. Is it the little zebra, the Christmas tree?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's pretty popular.
What do you call those?
The Christmas tree cake.
That's what my favorite, bro.
All right, man.
Released on my own damn record label. And then when I put it out there, a lot of people on the internet started going, and they still do it. They go, "Hey man, you ripped off Everlast, bro." And it's not entirely false. There's one lick, is this one. It's pretty similar. In my defense, it wasn't intentional. When I was 16, that was a real popular song. I wrote that dude a whole letter and explained him the situation. I said, "In conclusion, sir, please don't sue me. Help me escape from this deserted sea. Lord, I think that the devil might be after me. I don't wanna waste integrity. I'm just a man living a one-night stand. I tell you what I mean. Oh, Black Creek, take me to that place. Wash my soul. Oh, Black Creek, take me to that place. Wash my soul. For harvest in a wicked garden off of the ledge. Simple scheme